Hello. In the honor of International Women's Day this month, I have lined up videos discussing feminist books and authors. This is a topic very close to my heart and something that I am really passionate about. And I hope that you learn a little something. Also, do let me know in the comment section below which are your favorite feminist books and authors. So, the first book that I have picked up to discuss is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. So, The Handmaid's Tale is often referred to as a dystopian novel. So, dystopia means a state which is imaginary, but also at the same time it's full of gory stuff and which is also full of suffering and injustices, which is the opposite of an utopian world, which is a utopia, which is also an imaginary world, which is full of flowery things and good stuff. But a dystopian novel, which is The Handmaid's Tale, is full of dark, gory stuff. But also at the same time, it does not quite feel very like an imagined world. It rather feels extremely real in the novel. Actually, to be honest, reading this book was not an easy task for me. I found it really hard to finish the book. And actually, once I started and got into it, I really wanted to just get over with it. And not because it is a bad piece of literature, no, it's not, but because it felt so real. The disturbing incidences felt very real and felt very close to home. Margaret Atwood, in an interview, has said, "I made sure that every horrific detail in the book had happened sometime somewhere. So think of it as a cake, in which I made the cake, but all the raisins and chocolate chips are real." Published in 1985, covering horrific historic as well as futuristic incidents, Atwood in this book actually tries to show us where humanity is actually headed. So in this video, I'm not going to be reviewing the book. I'm actually going to talk about 3 of the themes or incidents which have actually spoken to me, and I hope that I don't give out any spoilers. So, number 1. Women. So the women in this book are divided into 4 categories, namely the wife, the handmaid, the Martha, and the unwomen. So the wife, they are the women of the masters, basically the upper class people who cannot conceive, who cannot give birth to children. And the handmaids are the women who are fertile. And the Marthas are the servants. The unwomen are women who have gone out of their way, out of the system, who are basically radical feminists, women who are lesbians, who do not conform to the ideal of being a woman. So women in these categories have specific tasks to do and to fulfill the needs of the patriarchal dictatorship. So the unwomen, who I have told are mostly lesbians or who are radical feminists, are either forced to give birth and become handmaids, or they are killed. And the women in this dictatorship don't have the right to earn, and the women who earn money are the women who are called the fallen women, and these are the prostitutes who live outside the civilization, outside this cantonment where all these people live. So these are the fallen women who live outside, literally outside the borders. So this is basically a futuristic novel where the US is now captured and governed by the system called Gilead, and where women actually don't have any personal or any rights, to so to speak. Women are only considered wombs on 2 legs. Well, yes, that's the status of women in The Handmaid's Tale. And because it's a futuristic novel, due to pollution, due to toxins, due to personal choices, the birth rate has gone down very low. And that is why the regime is now forcing women to have children to produce more citizens. Well, this might actually sound unfair and unreal, right? But in Cambodia, forced pregnancy has been employed as a tool of warfare. In spite of this prevalence, forced pregnancy has only emerged as a distinct international crime after the adoption of the Rome Statute of the International Crime Court in 1998. So these women who are the handmaids, of course, they don't have any right over their bodies, their selves. So, and because they are the only fertile women left in the entire country or regime, what they do is that these women, after giving birth in one household, they have to go to another house. Not only their own identity, but they don't have their own names. Their names are given by their masters, the men who impregnate them. So whenever they go from house to house, their names are changed, their identities are completely lost. So these handmaids have to give up their children to their masters no matter what. They cannot be single mothers, and homosexuality is absolutely forbidden. They are in fact called traitors. To be honest, it does not seem very surprising to me. Although I had like goosebumps when I was reading this book, but also at the same time I do know that there are women who are suffering in various parts of the world because of these issues, because they are homosexuals, because they want to earn their own living, because they want to be themselves and independent. And it is not even in the 21st century, even in 2021, this is not something which is out of the blue. These things are actually happening in and around us. Number 2, race. So the only non-white people which are mentioned in the book are called the children of Ham, who are later relocated in their homeland. This can be traced to the racially segregated South Africa during the apartheid, where people were discriminated on the basis of their skin tone. Although racism is not something which is a history, the Black Lives Matter movement has been a recent phenomenon. Although people have been fighting for years and centuries actually, race is still an issue in our world, be it in the US or in India. People are discriminated on the basis of their color, on the basis of their caste, creed and religion and everything. Although Atwood has been actually criticized for not talking about the issue of race in her book in depth, and I totally agree with that. She has rather sort of brushed off the topic of race. The problem with discrimination and oppression is that the intersection between sex, between gender and between race. So of course white women do have to go through a lot of sufferings, but also at the same time the sufferings of a colored woman is sort of doubled. I don't mean to demean the sufferings of, I don't mean to measure any of the sufferings, but also at the same time it's important to acknowledge the intersections of race, the intersections of gender, caste and sexual orientation and various other issues. This novel is considered one of the best dystopian literatures and feminist literatures in the world, and I totally agree with it. But with this growing information and concern about race, discrimination and injustice, I feel that race is a very important issue which should be talked about and which should be discussed, and there should be discourses around race and conversations around race. Number 3, religious fundamentalism. So Gilead, the state, is a theocracy, which means that a government run by the church as well as the state. Religion is an extremely important part of The Handmaid's Tale. It's an extremely important theme, and the Bible is overlooming, especially the Old Testament. The interesting part about religion in this book is that the excerpts from the Bible which are picked up by the masters or by the other authoritative figures in the novel, they are quite selective. They only mention the excerpts from the Bible which can be helpful to them and which can be advantageous to their positions rather than the Marthas or the handmaids. So it's quite tricky, and it's quite the hypocrisy of the situation, the hypocrisy, the authoritative figures have in this novel are quite interesting to look at, and how they are manipulating these women into being submissive and into being slaves. So by reading selective passages and excerpts from the Bible and the Old Testament, these authoritative figures try to justify why their cruel behavior and their domination over these women, these innocent women, is right, and why it's if in fact even moral. These women, they are raped. These women don't want to give birth, most of them, and but they can, because the surveillance is so hard, they cannot escape this place. If they want to escape, it's either they are killed or they are doomed to being pregnant. This can actually also be traced to the treatment of Taliban of women, their usage of the Quran to manipulate youngsters and women into submission. So I think the issues that Atwood picks up in this novel are actually real. These are not far-fetched imaginative issues. It's just that she has wrapped it in an imaginary world, but these issues are rather real. Although horrifying and seemingly real, The Handmaid's Tale is definitely one of the best pieces of literature, and I would recommend you to read this book. If you want to check it out, I will leave a link in the description box below. Do check the book out, and I hope to see you next week.